Hey guys, I'm Tyrone and welcome back to Harrison Family Farm. Just getting my day started here. It's early afternoon. Pretty warm day here in Kansas City. As you can see, people are out enjoying this wonderful Sunday. Bike riders are among us. I'm actually about to head outside. Well, out to the back. I was already outside. To check on the cows. I think they're low on hay and maybe even put some hay out. Yep, I'm looking and I got to put some hay out. As you guys can see, nothing in that ring and nothing over there at all, really. Just both of them over there kind of waiting on me. And it's funny. They tend to wait right there where the hay is by that trailer whenever it's low. So yeah, I'm going to get in here with them, get some hay out that way that they're happy. Hopefully I don't have to lure them away with any feed. If I can get them away from the gate, I'll just open it and roll the hay out real quick before they really think about trying to get out. Move. Move. Watch it. So that wasn't too bad. Got it in there fairly easy. I forgot at first though to cut my net wrapping off. So I had to push it around a little bit more just to totally get the bell off of the wrapping. As you can see, Beyonce and Jay both Waste no time getting after it. And so, yeah, I'm still working on the bells that I bought a few weeks ago. That's my third one. If you guys remember, I got 4, so I got one more left over. Excuse me. My hope was, or is still, that that bit of land that I got fenced in behind the pen that they're currently in will have grown back and kind of, taken back over by the time this hay is done. That way they can spend some time out there. Well, from the way that it's been going so far, I'm not sure that that's going to work in my favor. Just seems to be really slow growing, slow going and slow growing. And I'm not sure why. Maybe it's too much shade. It hasn't been, up until recently anyway, really rainy in the area. So that's, I'm sure, playing a part and a role in it as well. But most of my grass I've had to cut, I want to say about 2 times since I've had them on this last. And I say that to mean that I haven't had any animals, not the goats or anything, on this bit of grass or this area. But this is all that it has grown, probably in the last month and a half or so, maybe even 2 months. I had some hay before, what they're eating on now too, since having them out of this area. So not really sure what it is. I talked to Angela earlier. It was funny because she had some old fruit scraps from cutting up some strawberries, and then I in turn later ended up frying some tomatoes and had some tomato scraps. And I was like, man, these would really be great for like a compost pile or something like that. And so it made me think of starting one to first educate myself on what that looks like, because I've heard the term, but I'm not really versed on what's all into, or what all it takes and what all goes into it. So something I might be looking into and try to start around here, and then also trying to use it to fertilize possibly the ground, the plants. And I also want to look into some things regarding or surrounding the cow manure and how to repurpose that. I know people have manure spreaders, so whether that's just really just the proper way to keep it and maintain it for use, and then the optimal way to distribute it is what I'm really trying to educate myself on, or looking to educate myself on. So we shall see, which is going to be cool, because just being able to use natural resources that are here to make the land and off the garden too and other parts just more productive. So that's going to be cool. We'll see what we can learn about that. In the meantime, if you guys remember from the previous video, I did some cutting of some trees. I moved some trees around, got them around back, and even started cutting on them. And so since then, I've actually started burning. It just started me a little fire. Now, I spoke to you guys before that I was a little bit hesitant to start any real big fire. And even today I wanted to burn, and it's just really windy. I'll show you guys. So you can see, pretty windy today. Although I hope to burn, I just don't think, at least not right now anyway, it's going to be ideal to do so, or smart. But you guys know that big pile of brush and stuff I had, it is mostly gone. I got a few strays, a few things I missed when I had my chainsaw out, and I haven't had it back out here since. So they're still around. But for the most part, I got it cleaned up pretty good. I even started working on this, but I also noticed there was a lot of things that I wanted to cut on a little bit more. Didn't have a really big fire at all. This is the remains, or what remains. So just really campfire size. And that way I was able to just add on it piece by piece, and I have this big old raging fire. And, just something small, contained, and controlled. And that's what I was shooting for. And so my next goal is going to be getting the remaining limbs off of this, or those future posts, and then getting these cut up into smaller pieces that I think will burn fairly quickly and easily. And I'll probably use them to start that new fire wherever it may, or when and wherever it may be, because I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure where I want to pallet it just yet. And the reason for that is I don't want to have to carry limbs a long way. I want it to be, you know, far enough away where I'm not catching things that I don't intend to burn on fire, but also near enough where I'm not walking a long way to drag the brush to it. And I say that because I really want to look at picking off of this big old mound that runs across the front of the yard or the front of the house or whatever. And so I want to be able to burn up some stuff from it too. But I also got another tree that I fell back down here that I need to finish cutting on, or just cutting the smaller pieces. I already got it into log sizes down there. I don't know if that comes through clearly. It's already cut up, but I want to get some of this top half of it to brush for the limbs and whatnot cut down. That way they too will burn easily. I'm actually thinking about doing that today here in a second. The wind is just making me hesitant. I guess I could do it and just not burn it, but I really want to just go ahead and get rid of it. Just all in one type of thing. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it for a minute, but I also want to think about where I want to next put our goats. With that area over there not really recovering that well or that fast, you know, I haven't had them over there for a while. I think it has been probably a few months since you guys have seen them over there. So I've been keeping them in this area because it grows like crazy. You guys know that it hasn't been long since they've been on this piece of land right here. And it's already starting to grow back. Like I could literally put them here and they'll be fine. But I'm really thinking about putting them in some places either deeper in here or into areas that allow me to get deeper into here or on this side along where I want to run this fence. So I don't know. I'm about to study it, come up with something, and I'll check back in with you guys in a second. All right, guys, I don't know how much of that I actually caught of myself, but when I start cutting, I got carried away and I ended up opening all this up. And so this was all that underbrush I had showed you guys before. And I think even in the previous video where I had the goats over here last, I told you guys I wanted to get in there and cut it all up. And so that's what I did. Went in there and cut the bottom out of most of it. I ran out of fuel, so I had to stop, but I'm definitely off to a good start, if nothing else. I don't know if that guys helped you see a little bit better. But yeah, it's still some stuff in there. Sorry, 1 second. Got sweat my. Still very much some stuff in there. I want to get in there and cut up some more, but a heck of a start. And so ultimately, I'm going to end up clearing this down too, cutting this down. Probably not today, but I am going to get to that. And then that way, that's going to expose essentially the corner of this area that I'm about to fence in. And that's what my goal is to do. I want to clear everything away from my fence. That way, I have it clear now so that if I need to cut something in the future, it won't jeopardize my fence. So yeah, I want to move everything, just away from the fence line where it's going to run. That way, I got ample side on either side of where the fence will be to work or do whatever I need to do. I just essentially want to clear ahead of my fence. I just want to make sure I got, I don't know, a good 20 feet or so beyond where my fence is going to run. Or if I run into trees that are going to be a threat to the fence in the future, I just want to go ahead and cut them now. Kind of what I was explaining to you guys, I believe in that last video. I think I mentioned that. But I'm going to take me a little break, give me something to drink, hydrate myself, and then I'll check back in with you guys. So I had my break, got me something to drink. I stay at Sonic, I swear. But I wasn't selfish. I got everybody something to drink too. Anyway, guys, I actually think I might have to push pause on what I was doing outside just because it has gotten a little bit later in the day. It's Sunday, like I mentioned earlier. And so I have my middle kids, but tomorrow's Monday, naturally. And so they have school. So I want to wrap up my day as far as outside because I am responsible for cooking today. And I want to cook and be done cooking in time to get them home. That's my long story short. But yeah, so I'm wrapping up what I'm doing outside. But one of our local grocery stores here had a sale on some steaks, I think some strips, if I'm not mistaken. And so I grabbed some of those. So I'm actually about to get the grill fired up. That way I can start cooking for those. I already got them seasoned and everything. I went ahead and did that this morning, right after I purchased them, because I knew that I would get outside, get distracted, and lose track of time. So anyway, I'm about to get the grill started, get it cleaned up. That way I can go ahead and get dinner going. So we got our meat on the grill, guys. There it is. Smelling pretty good too, might I add. We'll let it do what it does and we'll check in on it later. That smells good. All right, guys, we got our steaks done. There they are. Let's take them in and see what we got. Hey guys, shame on me, but it is now actually a few weeks later from when I was out here grilling. Yeah, life had started happening there for a minute, so life was lifing. That night, like I had mentioned to you guys earlier in this video, I had to take the kids home, and so when I did that, I started noticing the sound on my truck. It started like a hissing noise, a real airy kind of a sound anytime I accelerated. And so I was able to safely get the kids home. So when I got home, I was like, well, let me investigate. I had a few ideas of what it might have been, but none of my ideas or guesses were what it actually ended up being. So I thought it was this sensor. It's called an EBP sensor or an exhaust back pressure sensor. And in my experience, I have in my truck, they tend to go out about once every year, especially after I've had it deleted. No need for me to explain to you guys what all that means, but if you know, you know, whatever. So anyway, I figured it was that. So I get out the truck. It's, dark by this time. I've taken the kids home, and, I have my phone with me, and I use my flashlight. And so I look in the direction of where that sensor is, because that's also where I kind of believe that I heard the sound coming from. And I see soot, which is to be expected. Like I said, it's an exhaust sensor is what I'm looking at, but not in the place of the sensor. I actually see it on what is called one of my up pipes, which is a pipe that comes off my exhaust manifold of my engine and feeds the exhaust into my turbo hot side. Nonetheless, anyway, the part was broken and was failed, and so really put me in a position where I had to make a decision about having it taken to a shop or driving it to a shop and looking at least probably a $1,500 to $2,000 repair, or doing it myself. And so I actually opted to do it myself. And so with that, it kind of took me off of everything I was doing as far as recording. And that's kind of where my time and attention went at that time. And so good news is I was able to get the part, able to get it on. It was a pain. Oh my goodness, it was a pain. I ended up having to, what did I end up having to do? Oh, I ended up having to jack the front of my truck up, like remove the cab from the frame of the truck. Like I had to go take these 8 different body bolts to keep the cab of the truck, mounted to the frame of the truck, take them apart, take my jack, lift up the front of it to create enough room, a gap, where I could wiggle that part out of there. It is a very tough spot to get in and out of. And so it took me about a day and a half, but I was able to do it. So truck behind me, as you can see, is up and going, no issues there. Was able to get it back in service. But anyway, that took up my weekend and everything I was doing. And of course, throughout the week, I had work, whatever the case may be. But in the weekend that came thereafter, I made a last minute decision to actually take a road trip with a friend. And so I actually, take that opportunity to kind of tell you guys a little bit more about myself. What do I want to say, or where do I want to start? I'm a band kid, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I grew up playing instruments, and in particular drums. I was used to be in a percussion ensemble where we played drum set, and then I also used to be in a jazz band, a youth jazz band here in Kansas City, and then also played percussion, particularly snare drum, in high school, and then I actually got myself a scholarship to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, where I ended up playing snare drum there as well. And so I say that to say that I ended up going with one of my friends here in Kansas City, ended up going with him to a football game that UAPB, the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, ended up having in Memphis, Tennessee. It was the Southern Heritage Classic. And so that took me away from the forum for the weekend, so I didn't do any recording here on the forum, but I did get some clips that I am going to kind of splice in here a little bit, because it was a really great weekend for me. I was able to just hang out with not only that friend that I went with, but also not most of, because I had different college roommates at different stages of college, but at a particular time in college I had a set of roommates, and all of us were able to get together minus one, which is really cool, because you know when you become adults it's really hard to get together. And so it's really awesome that we were able to, you know, the majority of us were able to take advantage of this opportunity to get together and kind of hang out. So that was really cool. And so with that, I was able to see them. The friend that I went with, he's actually a band director here. Yeah, the love for the band goes deep amongst me and my friends. So he's actually a band director here in Kansas City. And so going with him was, you know, brought a unique experience as well for myself, because I don't know whether I would have intentionally went to the high school battle of the bands that they had as a part of everything that was going on for the weekend, for the classic. But with him, he definitely wanted to go, and oh my God, was I impressed. Like I said before, I'm a band kid. I've been in many bands as I've grown and come up. And some of, you know, just the product that these young students were producing was just awesome, from the sound, from the moves. From just everything they were doing. It was really impressive, and it just took me back, of course, to when I was their age doing it. But it also just showed a contrast too from, you know, what I see up here as far as our high school bands versus what it's like to be in the South. Oh my God, it's just a different culture, a different level. And it was just really cool to see it, and to see it live, because, you know, a lot of times I watch it on YouTube, I watch different band channels or whatever, just to keep my ear close to what's going on in that world or that sphere. And the camera doesn't do it justice, and you just don't realize it until you're right there in the face of it. You know, the sound is hitting your ears, and you know, it's just cool. It's almost, I was telling my friend, I was like, it was almost like it could bring you to tears, but I'm not emotional. Like, it's not that I'm, oh, this is so majestic and moving. It was just like, I don't know, surreal feeling almost, but it was really cool. I really had a really good time. And then after that, we went to the actual football game. Football game didn't go in our favor, but it was cool to see the band, you know, all of us actually, because my roommates too, we were all in the band. Particularly me and my roommates were all in a drum line, and then my friend, he actually played saxophone and then went on to become the drum major at UAPB. So being at the game with them was just really cool. And also seeing some other friends as well. I saw another roommate too from a different era of my college years as well, another really good friend of mine. So it was just a really good weekend, and also being able to kind of feed that side of my personality, or you know, the thing that I used to love to do. I still play the drums every blue moon and again. There's been certain occasions that have come up. It seems like there's always something. Last year, unfortunately, one of my very good friends passed away, and so a small ensemble of me and some other percussion members played at his services. earlier this year, I ended up playing at a alumni game for my high school. I think it was myself and other alumni. So it's something that I get to, you know, dabble in every once in a while, even with being an adult, because that was one thing me and my friends used to always say when we were in high school. Because I don't think if I could convey to you guys, and mind you, it's not. Hold on, what I want to say. I don't know how to properly convey to you guys just how dedicated we were to just band, and particularly me and my friends. Drums, the snare drum in particular, had our attention. And so we used to spend just hours and days just practicing and playing. In between classes, we're going down to the band room, you know, whether we're practicing just rudiments and trying to get better to compete against one another, being faster, being cleaner, or whether it's going down there to practice for some ensemble solo or something like that you got going on for state competition. So it was just something we all enjoyed very much. And so being able to just go there for the weekend and kind of see that and see what, you know, that program has actually evolved to since we've been gone, because mind you, it's been, you know, graduated almost 20 years ago. So leaving there, that's almost 15, 16 years ago. So that's really awesome too, seeing the directors, being able to talk to them, because the directors are still the same. They're still the same band directors there. But yeah, it was just a really good weekend, really fun weekend. One thing I will say is, me and my friend, a friend I rode down there with, so Saturday morning. So let me also tell you this. It was called the Southern Heritage Classic. It was held in Memphis, Tennessee. And so both of these schools, if you guys don't know, are historically black colleges, or HBCUs. And so with that, if you're not familiar with a classic, it would be very similar to what you would see as a bowl for PWI or something like that. So kind of the same thing. And so with that, there's like a lineup of events for the weekend, different things and whatnot. And one of the things that they had was a parade that morning. And so me and my guy that I rode down there with, of course we want to see the parade. The band's going to be in the parade, both bands, because the team that the school we were playing was Tennessee State University. And so their band was going to be there as well. And so that was going to be our first chance to kind of get a glimpse at them. And so we go around, we find out where we're going to park at. We get there, we walk up to the parade site, towards the front of the parade site too, mind you. And we were running late. But from the way it looked visually, it looked like at the moment the parade hadn't started. It looked like we had gotten there just right on time, or maybe a tad bit early. And so things was going to work out. The parade, you know, gets to going. And so we're like, okay, cool. We see one high school band, like, all right, cool. We haven't missed the bands yet. We haven't missed the bands. Because there are high schools involved as well. Like I told you about the Battle of the Bands. Well, there's also high schools that participate in the parade as well. So we're still excited. We're just happy, you know, we're going to get to be able to see our school as well as the other schools. Cool. I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes go by, and I see people start walking off. I don't see nobody else coming down the parade. And, you know, the police officers are opening back up the roads. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? We asked another bystander. It's like, that's it. And we was like, oh, when we got here, that wasn't the beginning of the parade. She was like, oh, no, it was just a gap. Y'all just came in when it was a gap. And so it looked to us like it was just beginning. So we were mad and disappointed, but we couldn't be mad at anybody but ourselves. But yeah, just one of those things that happened. One of the funny moments from the trip, but a good trip overall. And so glad that I got to see so many people, even beyond my roommates, just old bandmates, old classmates. And so it was awesome. So that was pretty cool. Was happy I was able to get to do that. But yeah, guys, band has always been a big deal and a big part of my life. Like I said before, prior to high school, and then on to college, it really gave me the opportunity to go to college, because I didn't have a situation where, you know, my mom and dad had bukus of money saved up or set aside for me to go to college. And it just so happens that my talents was able to take me. So that was super fortunate for that. Super fortunate for that. And you know, I had some great opportunities because of band, both in high school and in college, and even before. Like I said, I competed in drum ensembles. So one thing we used to participate in was a competition called MA. We used to call it Mama, but I forgot exactly what it said. I think it's like Mid America Music Association, something like that, something to that effect, right? And so just being at a young age, I think I couldn't have been any more than like 10 or 12 traveling. I believe it was to St. Louis at the time. You know, for me, that's not nothing but down the street, but it was still cool to go stay at a hotel, go compete with other musicians, get to see people with different talent ranges, people who are vastly, you know, more talented than myself, and then other people who are developing skills, and just seeing where I fit in between and giving me something to strive to. And then even going on to high school, I was fortunate enough to go to high school here. They had a pretty well-known band locally, and then our band director, he was a pretty awesome guy, and so he was able to take us and travel with us. We went several places. I know my freshman year we went to like Indianapolis to another historically black and college university classic. It was the I'm trying to think of Circle City Classic, that's what it's called. And so that was one thing that I had to tip my hat to him, is he really exposed us to that, especially the black band culture. And so that was another reason our high school band stuck out, is because it was the only one in the area that was more Southern show style than the traditional core style bands that you would see in the area. And so in order for us to compete with other bands that he saw that were our direct competition, if you would, we would oftentimes travel to where those bands were. So like I said, I went to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, but I want to say the first time I was introduced to them in person was because of him, because we went down to their homecoming. And so yeah, just great memories and great life experiences. And then going on to college, I had the opportunity to play for 2 different presidents. Crazy, right? I had the opportunity to play for President Bush. He came to Fayetteville in a air hangar one time, and the drum line only. We played for him there. I forget exactly what the event was, but had the opportunity to play for him there. And then I also had the opportunity to play in the inaugural parade for President Barack Obama. So that was pretty awesome as well. The band was part of one of the representatives for the state of Arkansas for the inaugural parade, and so I was able to participate in that. That was pretty cool. We had to go through like a whole vetting process for the Secret Service and stuff. I mean, yeah, that was pretty awesome, you know, for many different reasons. So band, music, whatever, has taken me many different places and given me many different experiences, and I'm just so grateful for that. And so yeah, guys, I hope I was able to share something with you about myself that you didn't previously know. And maybe if you play band or play an instrument, let me know down in the comments. Like I said, my instruments were percussion, particularly snare drum. And so yeah, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up. It's getting dark. I still gotta feed the animals. Cows are mooing because they're a little light on hay. But I appreciate you guys. Sorry for the delay for the video. I'm getting back on top of it. Like I said, life been lifing. It been lifing. But leave me a comment down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Thank you.